So just a quick run through on depression and magnesium from a naturopathic perspective. The parasympathetic system, I guess you could say, and the orthosympathetic system, these two systems of the autonomic nervous system, which one is represented, I guess, by the cortex and activity, and the other is represented by the solar plexus and healing and relaxation. And these two, it's kind of masculine and feminine. You have these two, passive and active, extrovert, introvert, whatever, these kind of principles. And so this is how the body heals and then, goes from, patience to assertiveness and all these ranges. And so magnesium represents, I guess, the mineral on the parasympathetic side, and calcium represents the mineral on the orthosympathetic side, build up, calcium structure, boundaries, all this stuff. And magnesium represents this flexible relaxation, dilation, and also flexible. So not only, for example, in the teeth, you have calcium and magnesium in your teeth, but the calcium can make them brittle. But the reason why they're not brittle is because it does make them hard, the calcium, but it also makes them, in conjunction with the magnesium, the magnesium makes them flexible. So that gives this kind of softness to them, which allows them to be actually stronger. And so that's just one little note on how the system works. But so magnesium is responsible for that, and very well known that magnesium helps with the production of serotonin and tryptophan, the precursor of serotonin. And so this helps convert. When the tryptophan converts to serotonin, magnesium must be present, and the optimization of magnesium optimizes this conversion. And so this is a key feature for, serotonin, the good feeling, kind of mood stable, kind of not euphoria and giddiness, but just stable. And magnesium has been well documented in this area. And also, zinc, magnesium, selenium, they kind of work together, I guess you could say, for this and for the mind in general. And the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary axis, all of these hormones and all the hormone, the endocrine system can be completely skewed or thrown off by basically all the endocrine disruption can happen through not only endocrine disruptors, heavy metals and plastics and BPA and all these other things that happen, including mercury and aluminum is a really big endocrine disruptor, but also through inflammation, which inflammation is going to be at the base level. And I guess the other things I just mentioned also play into that inflammation. But so the inflammation is going to be the base kind of panic red alert sound that the body's going to get, and keeps it from being able to listen to the smaller alert sounds that are the hormones. So basically it's like a big, just like it just eclipses everything else that's happening, and we have to kind of just focus on that. And so that throws off the body's natural cycle of hormone coming back down, anxiety coming back down, healing, etc. It pulls us off of that cycle and puts us into a more stressful mode. And magnesium is famous for also limiting that, not only the inflammation, there's tons of studies on magnesium and inflammation. And so this is the base molecule for calming that inflammation, not only at the emotional, psycho-spiritual level, but also at the molecular level. Magnesium acts as like a calcium channel blocker, so it's a natural calcium channel blocker, which allows the cell to bring in the right amount of calcium, right amount of flexibility in conjunction with magnesium, once again structural, etc., to keep the cell membranes from becoming too hard and densify and killing the cells, basically. So, and allowing that dilation process and detoxification, all those things to happen. So that's happening at the cellular level and even at the more organic level, organ systemic level, I guess you could say. Also the GABA. The GABA is very famous for that. The GABA is like the most famous, I guess you could say, neurotransmitter for relaxation and sleep and mood stabilization. And it's become very popular This GABA inhibits the overactivity of the brain, basically, and stress. It's also for stress as well. And so GABA is highly dependent not only for its creation but also for its regulation, catalyzation, everything on magnesium, and the right levels of magnesium to be present in the not only serum but also in the tissues and everywhere else, so that the body can keep having access to these things. The serum doesn't store magnesium per se. It's in there, but there's storage sites built all over the body. Just like fat stores energy, well, we have tissues and everything else that stores other things, minerals, etc. So they even did some studies on Alzheimer's, and they found that it's like basically the reason that this works so well, magnesium, is because it not only creates a structure and an electricity, kind of like a positive ionic atmosphere for the conduction of the synapses in the nervous system. And so a lot of these transmitters actually fire better, the system works better, and not only through the system itself and the synapses, but even the creation of the physical synapses and how magnesium plays into that. And so that is going to play a key role, synaptoprotective role. Magnesium is well known for that. And there were studies on that for Alzheimer, but that can apply to anything, actually. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for just doing this on the easy, concise thing, which helps to understand how magnesium plays a role in depression. And I'm not saying this is going to replace pills and everything else, and pills for for like mental depression and psychological problems and everything else. But this is like a general healing protocol that has to be done first and foremost in all situations, because it's the number one deficiency. So I always recommend to get the right stuff, and it's only $3 a week to get the right stuff. And so, full disclosure, that we sell the transdermal magnesium in glass bottles, because we're trying to do it without endocrine disruptors and do it right, and not do plastics and leach all those endocrine disruption into the body. Such a key molecule. It's very important to do it right and spend the $3 a week instead of $1 a week or whatever it is to say, oh, this is more expensive. Do it right, because it's only cost $3 a week, and you only need it for 6 months of the year, or 3, or whatever. So it's not that expensive, but it is. There's a lot of fakes and copycats out there. 95% of the market is using solvent extracted or chemically treated magnesium, which may have the word Zechstein or Permian or any kind of like marketing term attached to it. But the true Zechstein, with the Zechstein Inside logo, comes from a city called Vindam in Holland, which is underneath the ground. It's this enormous discovery underneath the North Sea, a strata of pure magnesium chloride. There's no need to treat it or chemically treat it or solvent extract it or separate it from anything, because it is natural in its own brine, in its own natural state. And so this is something rare. And it's not rare in the sense that there's no more of it. There's an abundance there for thousands of years, but it's rare to find on the market because people just use solvent extracted lookalikes. So get the right stuff, only in glass, Transdermal Magnesium, blue bottles, heartoftradition.com. And get yours today and start a treatment or an application for 2 months, 2 months to 6 months, depending on your needs. But in general, I would say that most people, after 10 or 11 years old, we start with magnesium deficiency, and probably even before that now because of the nutrition. So anyway, come check us out at theheartoftradition.com.